We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Jersey Girl hot sauce, it is the Bee Sweet and honey hot sauce. You're giving it 4 peppers here, which is so that'd be 8 according to my scale. So I would say it's about a quarter of this. And what's interesting about this is I didn't get to this in the written review, but this ingredient list seems like it is the same for all of their sauces, which I find really interesting. It's like there's a sliding scale, I guess. Some of them have onions, some of them don't have honey, but generally the sweet potatoes, the peppers, and the lime juice and so on is all relatively intact across their labels, which is curious to me. It seems like something that could use a bit of elaboration, I would say. So, okay, so here we have honey, vinegar, water, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, peppers, lime juice, sugar, garlic salt. So, looking at this, you can see it's a very... Oh, I need a white point here because I think the table is tinting it a little bit. So, you can see it is almost a beer color, I would say. Put it there. And very, very loose, as you can see. Very runny, very watery. There are little bits of peppers in there. I think this might have been part of the label. Actually, it's not a pepper, but you see there are little bits in there. And I really like this sauce, but when I looked on their website to find out what peppers it actually were, and then I saw this for some of the other sauces because I got interested, I find this a little odd. And it is, I'll be honest, this is off-putting enough that I probably am not going to get anything else from Jersey Girl. Some of the other sauces have onions, so I guess I wasn't a strong candidate for those anyway, but here's the thing, okay? So we see like pink sauce with the TikTok thing and all this other stuff. And I've seen, it's not the only social media site I've seen, people kind of doing these home brews of hot sauces and putting them out there to try to sell them. And the one problem I have with that is I think you're really putting a certain degree of trust in those people that you're not going to get something that's spoiled or that is going to make you sick with food poisoning. And in the case of the pink sauce, Matt Pat over at Food Theory did a really, really good video on that I encourage everyone to check out. Which also brings up another point about hot sauce. People try to be secretive about the ingredients, and you see this sometimes on labels like this where it's indistinct and the ratios don't seem exactly what they should be. So we have sweet potatoes and tomatoes, so maybe that's there for color, but it is showing up before peppers in this one. And lime juice is showing up before garlic or salt. And I find that just really bizarre that proportionally the highest ingredients are supposed to be first in the list. And I don't know. This labeling I have some doubts and some questions about. And I see a lot of people trying to be secretive about, hot sauce isn't new. It's been around for a really long time. There's nothing new under the sun, and that's one of the biggest things is people trying to reverse engineer different recipes and stuff like that. I don't think you need to play cloak and dagger with ingredients with your hot sauce or with the other stuff. And I think it's frankly kind of, it's stupid, but it's also kind of offensive because you're trying to get away from something then, right? Here's the whole thing, right? Make a good sauce. Okay? Just make a good sauce and leave it at that. And like if you're something like a John's or Blair's, you'll develop your own thing. You'll get your own following, and people will come to know you, recognize you as quality, and you'll be inducted into the Hot Sauce Hall of Fame, and so on and so forth. It's a pretty niche market, and trying to play cloak and daggers, because like chili heads tend to be really, really invested in what the stuff is. Trying to play games with that, I think, is foolish, because it makes you look non-serious, and I think that you're throttling down any potential interest for probably the actual audience that you want. Because a lot of companies, unless they have a lot of money behind them, aren't going to become national brands overnight. They've got to build themselves a following. But if you're trying to do it with smoke and mirrors, that is not the way. That's not the right approach. Anyway, back to this. So this is one of the few sauces that actually has come with a restrictor cap as an option. They send you the cap with the sauce. That is a really nice touch. The packaging this came in also really, really nice. So Jersey Girl as a company is doing a lot of things really right. When I see labels with vastly different colored sauces and different styles of sauces that have a commonality of ingredients, I get leery, because this is not speaking to me as some of these things in there. Like, look how watery this is. Okay, so here we go. Right, so you're going to tell me that sweet potatoes and tomatoes are fairly high components in this sauce, right? So you have honey, vinegar, and water. All that makes sense, right? It is fairly runny. It tastes more forward of honey, and there is definitely an astringent element to it as well, okay? But are we seeing a lot of stuff that would suggest either tomatoes or sweet potatoes here in this very, very runny sauce that doesn't like to stick to anything? Definitely not this plastic that doesn't like things to be stuck to it. I mean, are we seeing that? And I'm sorry for Jersey Girl if you feel like I'm picking on you. I promise I'm not. I just find this sort of thing a really, really irritating trend, and I want it to be done away with. I don't think that needs to be the case. I think that's just laziness. And I get you might want to make the same label over and over and over again, so you don't have to pay artists to just replace a bunch of text, but this doesn't make sense to me. Like lime juice is not in this flavor profile at all. And I would really, really put forth that tomatoes and sweet potatoes really aren't either. And you can see there's peppers there. Like, peppers are visible. It looks to me like they were probably dried, but they're visible. Sugar, garlic, salt. I'm not going to say, sugar possibly and salt probably. As far as garlic, it doesn't read to me particularly garlicky. It's definitely more of a honey forward sauce. So those ingredients in the label kind of make sense to me, but these other ones, I have a problem with anything that implies deceit. I'm not saying they're intentionally trying to be deceitful, but the implication there is that there's some obfuscation going on, and I think it just isn't necessary at the very best. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, so this is, it looks like honey. It is a very nice, light golden color, like honey. Different flecks of peppers in there. Very, very watery, though. So after this, we're going to be actually tossing this cap and putting this cap on, because this sauce is really hard to use unrestricted. So anyway, let's get on into it. It's got the smoothness of honey, a bit of astringency from the garlic, and a pretty nice little bite there. There's some super hots in here. What I understand from this blend is Scorpion, Ghost, and I would say it reads a little bit more like Ghost than Scorpion, thankfully. Habanero and something called Cherry Bees. I don't know what those are, at least not by that name. So, a really, really nice bite. A little bit of a super hot bite, It's more of a general heat, though. I wouldn't say it's not like a particularly forceful, punchy heat. I think I gave this a 2. Two's about right. It does dissipate fairly quickly as well. But I really like this because it's so honey forward. It's smooth like a honey, but it's not thick and sludgy, like honeys tend to be. It doesn't have that sort of viscosity to it. This is much, much, much more watery. I like this sauce quite a bit. That's what I mean. It's a good quality sauce. You can see, we're down to, I was saying I've got probably 2 ounces left of this. And I've got this probably will be appearing in the quarter 3 2022 wing things, just because I think it's too good of an opportunity not to have in there. But there's, if you've been following the blog, and the link to that is in the description down below, along with the review for the sauce. But if you've been following that, you've seen that I've been putting up a lot of posts this year. This is my highest posting year ever. And as I film this, it's not even the end of August yet. So we're going to go, last year was 60, that was the previous high. And I'm going to go way, way over that by the end of this year. So definitely, if you'd like to read some thoughts on hot sauces, it's a hot sauce only blog. I would really love it if you guys went by and checked that out as well. So, all right, let's get to this on some food. So, here we have what is called, this is Southern style, let me get the box. Southern style jumbo shrimp. Now look at the box and look at the product. Right? So, I guess this is going to be the video where I complain about everything, right? Going back to the deceitful thing, this is heavily photoshopped. These shrimp look nothing alike, not even close. And there's not a way, because these were dark out of the bag with the seasoning, there's not a way to actually get them to that color. So you airbrush a product that you can't ever get making. And we see that a lot, and we see a lot of articles about airbrushing of models, right, and compression of alteration of body forms, especially for women in the magazines and so on, and billboard glossy ads, things like that. And it's a distortion of reality. Same thing here. I think it's great that Photoshop exists, and I think you do really wonderful things with it. I really dislike that part of it, and I think it actually leads to an erosion of the culture. Like I said, this is going to be a complaining video, I guess, where I just kind of spew out a bunch of stuff that I find obnoxious. And that is a strong one. I think when you start getting into distortion of reality, and there is also, the pointing out that it also, because you're distorting reality, you're distorting the expectations for idealization, especially for women. It happens with men to a degree as well, but especially with women, because of how the actual world and operations are currently set up to be, which is male dominated. So there's much, much, much more slide room, right? There's much more of a state of grace to make things a lot easier for men if they don't live up to that ideal, whereas it's not quite the case with women, where they've got this gigantic expectation, this huge hurdle that they have to fling themselves over to even be considered approaching, an equal playing field. And a lot of that has to do, I feel about a lot of things involved in that, but I think it is exacerbated by this distortion of reality. In this case, what happened, right? I got a food product that looks completely different from the packaging, which is really, really irritating, but there's no real stakes involved with that, where it is on the other side. So I think it is a betterment of our society if we get away from distorting reality. And if you bought that, right, expecting to get something golden brown, and you got this, right? You got this. You're going to be disappointed potentially, right? Because you can't get something golden brown. Again, low stakes. It just, CPAC is like, whatever, we got your money. So what? Eat whatever this is supposed to be, and, or don't eat it, we don't care. We got your money. Well, it might impact CPAC in the future if nobody wants to buy this nonsense again. you know, you start losing customers, but it really is damaging to the psyche to fail to live up to what is being presented as a minimum basic entryway threshold, right? So if you can't live up to what is being presented as a standard, even if it's a lot of goalpost shifting, you know, that I think intrudes on psyches and stuff. And it's just really better, I think, to just deal with the actuality, you know? That's why I don't color tune these videos. I don't tint anything. I don't play around with the graphics. I don't have fancy stuff on my videos because I want you to see what this looks like in real life. That's why I have the white spoons, right? A lot of people don't have white spoons. I want the white spoon because I want you to have the color contrast, right? I want you to be able to see with the white point what this actually looked like. So this is absolutely what you see is what you get. Channel, you know, I mean, I might get gussied up and costumery and stuff like that, but the actual products I don't do anything with. White plates as white as I can get them, again, so you can have the contrast. When I do some chips, you're seeing close-ups, you're seeing it on a white napkin because you have the contrast. There's nothing to hide at that level. And that's why I take the approach I do. Anyways, food's getting cold, and I've probably whined enough for this video. All right, so much better with this. Otherwise, you know, like I said in the written review, this will just run on the plate and get under the food and stuff. So this one I can at least target it. I can target things better with. So this is, I think, the first sauce I've actually added a restrictor cap to. I think this is the first time that has ever happened. And you guys were here for it, so thanks for coming by. All right, I meant to try one of these solo without that, but I guess I kind of ruined that idea. But all right, let's get into it. Why? I don't understand why these are called sub. These are terrible. Ooh. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a lot of dried ingredients, like seems like a real forward pushing of some kind of dried seed. And it's not quite celery seed, but I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Oh man, it is not good though. So that's why they wanted to fool you into buying this, right? Ugh. This sauce is barely saving these. The sauce is the only good thing about this so far. Man, this is brutal. This is one of the worst things I think I've eaten on this channel. Cannot believe how bad this is. And it has to do with this breading, which is just terrible. Wow. No good. The sauce is excellent. This sauce I wound up putting out a lot of different things. I tested this one really thoroughly. It's also a great tasting sauce. Makes it easy. Oh, man. I don't know what that is. It is Alright, let's throw a little more sauce on here. This is the only thing saving these. Really not getting that much of a burn. This propensity to run under the plate, under the food though, really worked against me. Man, I tried to put this to pizza. Ugh. I can't convey to you how disgusting this flavoring system is on this shrimp. Now, there's quite enough of that. Ugh. Something you rarely see me do, but I need to get the taste of that breading out of my mouth. It is stunningly horrible. Ugh. Okay. So let's talk about let's try to go back talking about the sauce. Alright, so really good sauce. I have some problems with the labels, like I said, but the sauce itself is quite good. I really like how honey forward it is, which is actually fairly rare in sauces with honey in them. Usually, honey's a fairly subtle flavor, and it can get easily buried, which is also, by the way, why I disbelieve some of these other ingredients are in here, because all of them have a stronger taste profile than honey does. But, I mean, as far as that goes, you know, whatever they did a pretty decent balancing act with this. You know, I'm not getting a specific pepper, I'm just getting like a nice general heat. Nice, you know, low smolder sort of heat to it. There is enough vinegar in there to temper it so it's not cloying. The water in there, I'm assuming, is just to stretch it out a little bit. I know this company had a really nice post on there about preserving bees, which is, I mean, obviously if they're going to try to make a sauce like this, you rely on honey. And the honeybee population has had problems over the years due to a variety of reasons again, but it is good that we bring attention to that as well. Any of the problems, there's no sense in hiding them. We just have to address them and confront them. So good on them for that. But this is, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be trying any more of their sauces just because this labeling issue I think needs to be addressed. And I'm not going to be confident about having further sauces from them until it does. I will finish this out, and like I said, I did enjoy this quite a lot. This is a very, very good sauce. If you are going to try something from Jersey Girl, I think this is the one to get. It certainly stands unique, you know, after even among all the myriad of sauces I've done. And again, the full list of the ones I reviewed and many reviewed are on the blog, and I think at this point it's probably over 400. So lots of sauces to get some commentary on if you're interested in that. But yeah, very, very, very solid. What's in the bottle here, I do like that it comes with a restrictor cap, very smart. And I have nothing, I wish it wasn't quite so watery. I think that's my one complaint about this. It makes it a bit challenging to use, but as far as actual taste and heat, it's quite nice. And we'll leave it at that. Finally. So there it is, the Jersey Girl Be Sweet Hot Sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.